All right, we'll try this again. But I think it's gonna work now because it says sure MV7. I wish I had an audio thingy showing that people can hear me. But we'll give it a few minutes and see if people come back to the live and see if it's actually going to work. Can you hear me? Yay! Thank you. Again, I am not a streamer. I will never be a streamer. I'm a guy that has a lot of technology and trying to figure out how to piece it all together. Um, so this way, if you were on my live the other day, it was an issue because people who were not subscribers were in here causing problems. Today is subscriber only. You have to be a subscriber for at least 20 minutes to comment on my live. Hello, my name is Darren. I'm a dad. I'm an airline pilot, husband of a scientist. Tomorrow is a snow day and I am off tomorrow. And if you know me, you know me. I'm hoping to pick up an extra flight tomorrow. We'll see if I can get it done. I do have an issue though. I have flown so much recently. I they had a trip to Korea open tomorrow. I tried to bid for it. I'm illegal by like 2 hours, meaning I have flown. If I fly that trip, I'll be exceeding 100 hours in the last 30 days. So I think by tomorrow evening, I'll be legal to fly anything I need to, but it takes a while for all that time to fly to fall off. You've been to Boston Logan before? I've been to Boston Logan on the 777, never to Orlando on the 777. Snow day in Dallas, in DFNW, and it's gonna snow quite a bit tomorrow. And again, people from the north make fun of Texans and Southern people when it snows. Like, you guys got 2 inches of snow and you guys are closing all your schools. But what I say is, you guys have 90-degree days and people are freaking out because you don't have air conditioning. So people up north, you don't deal with heat very well. People down south, we don't have a lot of snow removal equipment because we don't get snow that often. So there's that. Thank you, EBC. It all is doing fairly well. I made to Moline and Sawyer Casino, Mr. Lou. I left a lot of money there when I was a regional pilot. I won some money there as well. I also have another Moline story. I'll tell you in a second. Snow day, pick up a flight. I hope to pick up a flight somewhere. Hey, Darren, you mentioned it'll be 8 years before you could hold 777 captain in DFW. How long would it take you if you were willing to commute? It'd be 7 years. I could hold New York 777 captain in 1 year less. I do fly the 777. Hello from Tulsa Maintenance Base. I haven't been there in about 2 months. Hey, Aviation Ethan, good evening. It is crazy in LA right now. I'm sorry for those people. Get the dash ready, come pilot, and have a 6.1 hours since December 12th. You know, and again, there's perks to that, right? Luke, not flying very much, but then also like flying a lot. And that's the problem I have on 777 is I don't fly that often, as much as I want to anyway. Hey, Captain, if so, you probably have been to Portland Jetport. Never been to Portland Jetport. Well, I've been to Portland, Maine. I've been there twice on turns on the Airbus. I need to look at the actual camera. There we go. That way, I don't need to see myself. Any thoughts on cadet programs specifically through CAE Flight School in Phoenix? Mr. Bishop, I know nothing about that particular flight school. Here's what I'll say, though. If you know in your heart of hearts you want to work for that company one day, right? There's nothing wrong with going through a branded cadet program. Now, you will pay more money than if you go through another flight school. But you know that AA, Delta, United, Southwest, they have kind of blessed that flight school, giving them their name on that flight school. You know, if you go through that program, when you come out the other end, you'll have everything you need to continue on the journey to the eventual AA, Delta, United, Southwest. That said, if you're in the Phoenix area, you have lots of options for flight schools. I would absolutely visit that program, visit the flight school, make a tour, and then if you can, go on a day off and just randomly show up and see how things are operating. But visit at least 3 flight schools total, though. Yeah, that airport. How did you like it? So I only did turns to Portland, Maine. I never actually went in the airport. I think I went in the airport once looking for a lobster roll, and it was so late in the day I couldn't get lobster roll. I think I'm going to be grounded for a while flying here in LA. All the TFRs, yeah, it's crazy right now in LA. Hey, Mr. Sarbia, do you earn flight hours as a FB or FC? I do. They still go on my logbook. I still log the time. It is logged as a relief pilot. And so my union knows when I'm FB, FC, when I'm a relief pilot or a pilot, right? So they log it correctly in my logbook. I don't log time anymore like most pilots do because I'm not going anywhere. I'm at my forever airline. So if I'm good with Microsoft, if you haven't picked up MHT trips, I recommend you fly some of their. It is a nice airport, but I can't fly there on 777. If I'm good at Microsoft Flight Sim, could I fly a plane in real life? Maybe. That said, again, I flew on Flight Sim for years. right? Before I flew a real airplane. And a flight sim Cessna is perfect, factory perfect. Real planes are bent a little bit, they shake, they smell, so and wind changes as you climb up. So you could be decent probably. You probably had the up, down, left, right figured out pretty quickly. Started CFI recently, and I'm stuck on lesson plans. Oh man, lesson plans, Drew. I get it, man. It's hard. Make a lesson plan that is designed for you to teach off of. Don't make a lesson plan that distracts you. A lesson plan should be something you can look at, bounce off, and keep going. Not something that you stare at, and and your lesson plan can be different than other people's lesson plans. They don't have to be the same for everyone. So it's something it's a very personal thing. It really is a personal thing that you design for you to teach off of. You know what? This 3D printer, I bought it like 4 years ago during COVID. I've never used it. It still has the plastic on it. Bought the flight back to 777. I really like the options in the FB. How's it handled in close to real life? It is very close to real life. But that said, you can't see it. I have a yoke right here. It's okay. This yoke isn't the right tension. But the 777 flight factor, it does react the same way as a real plane does. We have VIP TFRs and fire TFRs, and I guess chair flying and flight sim have been really good lately. Yes. Darren, do you like Whataburger? It's very good. I think it's better than that Bojangles chicken y'all have over there. Hey, and but Whataburger is slower service though. They're very slow, but it's very good. Hey, Darren, fellow coworker, I may work in the operations center. Louis, I need to go over there one day. I was supposed to visit the operations center when I was hired here 7 years ago. There was a thunderstorm that day. We never got to go. So whenever I upgrade to captain, I guess I can go over there and walk around. MSG doesn't get 777s. I think you could check next time. Yeah, they don't. No, they don't. Print out 777 on my 3D printer. One day I'll actually use anything. Favorite paper logbook and favorite electronic logbook. Pilot Sensei. I don't have a favorite paper logbook. I don't keep a paper logbook anymore. I have several. But electronic, I don't log time, but I used to use Logbook Pro many years ago. Good evening, QF. One day you're gonna need to something 3D printed, and it's gonna be the best purchase you ever. And you know what, Mr. Curtis, I believe that. 'Cause I bought it during like bad COVID, and I never used it. I never had in and out. It's very good. I have had in and out, and that's very good and very quick and very consistent. Not to get too personal, but can you explain how you and your wife were able to balance careers and having young children? It's not personal. My wife is awesome. I have an awesome life. It takes a lot of communication and understanding. We've been together now. It'll be 23 years this year. We've been together. It takes a lot of communication, understanding. Most of it is communication, though. Like her understanding where I'm going to be, where she's going to be. Me understanding that when I'm gone, she's handling everything, and that when I'm home, I don't say anything when she wants to go to trivia 2 nights in a row to go play with her friends, right? So, speak of the devil. Yeah. So, it's a lot of communication and understanding as creeps up behind me. She's gone. La, 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 la. When are you going to pick up a Charlotte trip? Never. Have you ever had to give a tour if you'd like? Although tomorrow's a bad day. I have a few friends over there that are dispatchers. Uh, Jared Woodard, if you ever know him, he's a dispatcher over there. I've known him for years. He played a joke at me one day. When you had over 150 pair of glasses, how did you keep them organized? I didn't. I have glasses all over the house. And my wife hates that I have glasses all over I can walk in any room of the house and find a pair of glasses. On my desk, I can right now probably keep changing glasses for the next 5 minutes. At least twice a minute. Have you heard of a pilot, Big Ernie? He makes YouTube videos. He likes he flies from Phoenix. Big Earn. I've heard of Big Earn. He flies with Southwest, other airline here in Dallas. Why don't they have 777 pilots take the 777 and 787 differences course and have because it's too difficult. In the United States, I don't know of any airline that does that. I think it's more common in outside the United States, but keeping them current is just too complicated. Flying Air DFW to Helsinki next week. Maybe we'll bump each other in Terminal D. NYC crazy is very possible. I do see that aircraft often in DFW. Good morning, Ernie. Morning, where are you at? Beg you're a major U.S. airline to fly the 777 to Zurich, please. It would be awesome to fly to Zurich. I want to fly to Zurich one day. Good evening from Bakersfield, California. Love your content. If you have any recommendations for a good flight school for an adult with full-time job, looking to make a change. So I never recommend any flight school. It's not because I'm a creep or a loser. I haven't been to flight school in 17 years. So, but here's what I do recommend. I recommend you go and visit flight schools. Go boots on ground and make a Excel spreadsheet and visit one per weekend. And if you can, show up for the tour and then hang out for a little while and talk to students. Um, and I say talk to students in person because online everyone complains. But and they say things that aren't necessarily true. But boots on ground works the best in my opinion. Yep, I work in CLP. We work with him often. So one day, Louis, a couple years ago, I was on the Airbus and I picked up a last minute trip. And I posted on Facebook I was flying a last minute trip, and Jared was the dispatcher for the trip. So I show up to the Airbus. I'm in my seat, and in every aircraft we have a printer that can print out things from the dispatcher. And I'm sitting there getting ready, and the printer just starts printing all by itself. And it says something along the lines of, "Captain, let me know if your first officer is up to par. He's known to be live on he's known to be on Facebook right now," or something along those lines. I'm like, "Why the heck is a dispatcher sending a message to my captain that I'm on Facebook?" And it was my buddy Jared playing a joke on me. But he got me good. I got pretty steamed pretty quickly. Lower choice of glasses, are they all prescribed? Every pair of glasses you see me put on so far is prescribed. I have a problem. Change glasses with every answer. Oh, Darren and Kelly Bird, that's my youngest, probably commenting on my video. Favorite airport other than DFW would be San Diego. At this point, you're flexing your glasses collection. I am, and you know what? These are only glasses that are on my desk. I'm not even. This is how many pairs of glasses I have just on my freaking desk. It's irresponsible to have this many pair of glasses. Would you ever change to 787 or 789? I would. I would. But again, I can't hold 787 in Dallas with my seniority. And I can't even bid to it for another year and a half. I have a 2-year seat lock on a 777. I'm running out of glasses. Uh-oh. I'm out of glasses. So yeah, it'd be at least another year and a half if I can bid to 777. But I would bid to it if my seniority were better over there. Does AA bring 777 to PWM or DFW? No. Portland, Maine, it'd be an Airbus or 73. What are some destinations the 787 flies, the 777 does not? Oh, all over Asia, Australia. Yeah, I wanted to go to all those. I want to go to all those. I think I'm out. On my desk anyway. Oh, wait. Found my Urkel glasses. Top 3 favorite glasses and go. Oh, the rainbow glasses and my different shape glasses for sure. These are fake glasses. These are so fake I can't even see. Like they're my Urkel glasses. They're not real. These are my one pair of fake glasses. I have 2 pair of these. They're the Meta glasses. Daughter needs to follow in your footsteps. Yeah, they have no already pilots. Does wearing glasses affect Class 1 medical anyway? It does. So I have to have my glasses on for all phases of flight. So yeah, it does affect my medical. Uh, so years ago, I had just plain old glasses and contacts. Then about 3 years ago, I'm getting older and I started wearing progressives. And so now it does. It used to say I have to wear glasses for distance vision or something along those lines. And now it says I have to wear glasses for all pieces of flight. I need glasses to see up close and far away. Excuse the spelling? Dude, I spelled bad too. I spelled bad as well. Do you think airlines will phase out the wide body planes in the future? No. There'll always be a need for, because wide body planes, especially the 777, they make money above the wing and below the wing. Especially the 777 carries so much cargo. Sometimes we have as much cargo weight as passenger weight. And that's a negative of the 787. The 787 was designed for fuel efficiency. The 787 is a Prius of the skies, but they have very little cargo they can carry. The 777, we're a big old Cadillac. We can carry a ton of cargo. Like some places we go, we're making way more money under the belly than up in the passenger compartment. La 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 la. Hey, Darren, do you have to show your credentials to other flight crews before each flight? No, but there are multiple steps to make sure I am who I am, right? But no, I never show my captain my certificate because I can't be assigned the flight if I'm not certified to fly that plane at that time. So, la 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 la. Want to volunteer at OBAP as I live next door to OBAP venue. Any person to contact? Do the so yeah. I would try to find the local chapter of OBAP and try to contact them directly. Also, are you on Facebook? Are you on Facebook? What's a seat lock? You're saying, oh, I have a seat lock. So when I change airplanes, I have a 2 year. I'm locked in the 777 for 2 years, meaning I can change bases, but I can't go to the back to the Airbus for 2 years as a first officer. That way, it keeps the training costs down for the airline. It costs a lot to train an airline pilot. So in order to reduce training costs, they keep me in the Airbus in my seat for 2 years. Middle glasses are cheaper now compared to the date I came out. Yes, but these are prescription. Like these are prescription. So these are prescription non-progressives because at the time I'm like they are so expensive, and then these pair are prescription progressives. So meaning I'm blind. When hired and you don't get the plane you want, is it the same? It is the same tier seat lock. And the biggest like upset thing that could happen at my airline is if you live in Boston. Sorry, I say it that way. But if you live in Boston and you get the Airbus, you're gonna be commuting for a while. Versus if you got New York 73, you could transfer to Boston 73. It's a Boston 737 status, but or if you got Chicago has Airbus as well now too, so it's not that big of a deal. How do you know? How do you know the Trent pilot guy on YouTube who went from zero regional offer in around 13 months? How realistic is that? I don't know who he is. Zero to regional offer in 13 months. Back in my day, you could do it in 9 months. He must have flown his rear end off. That's very sketchy. Even Darren wanted to say I started watching you in 2023 and you were my inspiration to follow my dreams and change careers. First Discovery flight next Saturday. Dude, knuckles to you, dude. Split Kiwi. Hey, let me know how that Discovery flight goes. And this tips for you. If you can, have someone go with you that can film your flight from the outside of the airplane. Have a good breakfast. Don't go get a big greasy, egg and cheese burrito with bacon on top because you might see it again. Have a light breakfast, but enjoy your time. Absolutely right. 777-300 can carry 775,000 pounds if the structural limit is permitted to reach for the flight. Yes. And where were we going? We were maxed out on the 200. Haven't been maxed out on the 300 yet, though. But I've been maxed out several times on the 200. Difference between 200 and 300, which one do I prefer? The main differences are the wings of 300 are a little bit wider. The 300 is a lot longer. They have different engines. The 300s are newer. They have a better weather radar. They have a cameras on the outside we can see from the flight deck. And they have a much better crew rest area. And on a 200, we typically take off at flaps 5. On the 300, it's typically flaps 15. What's one plane you would have liked to have flown that is no longer in service or used by a freight company? Super Constellation. My best friend is a first officer based out of JFK of JetBlue. Does mostly Caribbean LATAM flights. He hates the weird departure time, and it reminded me of our experience flying to Argentina, Chile. Yeah, I've heard that a lot about JetBlue, and it's come with a lot of low cost carriers. They do a lot of late night turns, like Fort Lauderdale to Bogota, back to Fort Lauderdale in the middle of the night. Hey, Darren, do you need to travel with multi glasses? I don't need to, but I do because I'm weird. If you ever meet me at any time when as a pilot, I have at least 100. No, sorry, I have at least 4 pair of glasses on me at any one time. I always, if I'm wearing I always have my blazer on. I always have 2 pair of glasses in my blazer, one in my shirt pocket, and one in my face. So, I read somewhere the MDs are coming out of storage out of Kirkland. They are going out of storage, but they're going to Mexico. G90 is a better engine. It's different. Ethan, Darren, what are your thoughts on the PMDG 777 for flight sim? Hey, North Star betting, it's very good. Of course, flight sim, I don't care for the underlying flight sim because the PMDG 777 is great, but they couldn't replicate the cameras due to flight sim limitations. Otherwise, it's a fine aircraft. I much prefer X-Plane though. Can you make a video about how you became a pilot? I have a video about that on my YouTube. If you have to scroll a bit, I need 1 week, I might skip making videos and make a bunch of thumbnails. But I have a video about how I got here. It's too late to become a pilot, and how do I get started? I'm a lineman, doing it for 5 years now. I've been interested in aviation for the past 5 years. No, Zhang? No, it's not too late. I started at 29 years old. First thing you need to do is take a discovery flight. book a discovery flight, and get an FAA medical. Can I fly 787? I cannot. I can't legally fly 787. Hey, Darren, watch the video on your favorite type rating. How come 145 ranked higher than the CRJ 700? Because the 145 is a better airplane. I said it. The CRJ 700 is a very powerful airplane. It's super powerful, but the 145 is more automated, and it's a better hand flying airplane than CRJ 700 was. The CRJ 700 was a rocket ship, but 145, if you're high and fast, you can get down quickly. And a CRJ is a little harder. But I think it's better. Can you fly with metal glasses? I can fly with these glasses, but I have to turn them off. So if I'm ever flying, I have to do this, and the light turns on, and they're turned off. I can't have them turned on while flying. Do you think the FAA will change the facial hair policies? I hope they do. Do you ever fly long hauls in a simulator, or do you demonstrate your landings? Um, no, because it takes too long. Oh no, in the real sim, like on my flight sim at home, no. I'll just do a takeoff, and then I'll go where I'm my destination, take off again, and do a landing. In the real sim, we rarely ever do a real flight in real time because it wastes a lot of time. We have to do some flights in real time, and they're always short flights, like JFK to Boston and 777, that kind of thing. Sometimes they're very expensive. How old were you when you first got your first flying job, and what was it? I was 20. Liar. I was 30 years old, and it was being a CFI. And in the same year, I got hired by my first regional airline in 2007 at 30. Would you ever consider being a ferry pilot for? Hold on. Oh, I got that ready. Would you ever consider being a ferry pilot on the side, working for your airline? It's a great YouTube channel called Cockpit Casual. It shows what it's like to be a ferry pilot. I can only So part of being an airline pilot at my airline, I think most airlines in the United States is, I cannot fly for compensation without permission from my airline. They have first right of refusal for all my commercial flight hours. So if I wanted to if I wanted to be a CFI on the side, I would need permission from my airline. I'm using my commercial hours. I can only fly so many commercial hours per year. But that's not something I would never want to do that though. It's not for me. 777X, Mr. Cameron, I know nothing about it. I know the wingtips fold. That's all I know about it. How old were you when you got your first flying job? I got that ready. Have you ever done a domestic 777? I have. I've done Tulsa to Dallas, and I've done as a ferry flight, and then a ferry flight from, meaning empty, just me and the captain, from San Antonio to JFK. They do have Miami and Las Vegas. I know Las Vegas is temporary due to CES. How long will it take the whole line at Philly on the Airbus? Probably a year and a half. I'm trying to non-revive DFW. What are some good international places? It's hard. I use best bets, but Madrid's good. London is not good because it's expensive. I like anywhere in Asia is good. I'm trying to go to Brisbane one day. What do the glasses do? They have cameras right here. So if you ever see any video you see in any of my YouTube videos that has a vertical video, if it's vertical, it's with these glasses on. These glasses can only shoot in portrait mode. And they are fantastic glasses, but they also have speakers inside. I can listen to music. I can talk to them and have it do things, but also I can shoot video. And don't worry, they're not creepy. Hold on. Yeah, I mean, whenever I shoot video, you'll see a light right here. So once they boot up, I'll show you what it looks like. So if you ever see someone walking around and they have a light, hold on. And nope, not yet. If they have a light beaming from their ear, they're shooting video. So this light is only on when I'm shooting video. So if I turn the video off, or if I take a picture, you can tell they have what I'm doing. Was training for your first type rating difficult? It was very difficult because going from a Piper Seminole to a CRJ 700 is different, right? Learning flows, profiles, limitations, what a profile is, what a flow is. That was hard for me. And learning the pace of things. Nothing happens fast in a jet. If we were we're on final doing 145 miles an hour, nothing happens fast. Everything is paced. It's like a words in a play. We all have a movie we've seen 1,000 times, and we know the lines in the movie. Imagine watching that movie one day and someone misses a line. You will know it right away. Same thing for airline pilots. We all say the same thing at the same time. And if we don't hear the right words from the other pilot, then something ain't right. Hey, good evening, Darren. How long at my airline where you can fly the 777 overseas? It depends on the airline and the current hiring situation. So I've been here 6 years. I've been here 7 years. I could have held a 777 for the last 2 years. It depends on the base too. No, I have no desire to do LASIK. I don't trust that process. If something goes wrong, my career is over. The glasses work just fine. It's 4 years. 40 is not too old. Mitch, give you a quick example. Quick back of the napkin math. Let's say you start when you're 41. Okay, by the time you're 44, you could have get all the hours that you need for an airline. You go to your first regional at 44. By the time you are 47, 3 years, you're a captain. By the time you're 50, you can be at a main line. By the time you're 58, you can be a captain again, and you can retire a mainline captain just fine. How do you pass time on a long flight? We talk a lot. We talk a lot. Tell a lot of stories. Where you're from, you married, kids, hobbies, tips with the overnight, contract discussions. How would commuting on reserve work? It depends on where it's too complicated to discuss on a live and that generic question, but keeping it simple. If you're long haul at where I work, you have 12 hours to report to work. It is your responsibility. If you're short call, you have less than 12 hours. Report to work. Happy Wednesday, Mr. Montero. You can file to your 65 for the airline to correct. Is it possible that you could get called or try to bid for a trip that is out of LA or Sydney? They would have to bridge the trip. Meaning they'd have to have a deadhead to LA overnight and then me fly the trip. That is possible. What if I work on my instrument rating? Awesome, Mr. Vieira. Any tips for networking and how useful it is? It's extremely useful. I got my job here from networking. I am exceptionally average. Networking through job fairs and airline conventions and talking to people. That's how I got my job here. And by the way I talk now is much better than I used to talk. I used to have a big stutter, but YouTube and TikTok have helped me get my pace of my language down much better. Is you lack an interest in GA because you lack time to fly outside of work? Yes. That's all it is. And motivation. I have time in the middle of the day. Like, I've been home all week with my wife. She works over there. But I have time in the middle of the day, but it's not, I have no interest in GA right now. Glasses came from Rayban.com. Can I have a second class medical, or you have to be first class to work at the airlines? You have to qualify for a first class medical. What is something you suggest pilots learn from the start that they'll use the rest of their career to be able to accept critique? As a pilot, we always want to be perfect, right? And you're not going to be perfect. You must be able to accept critique. If you can't take someone saying, "Hey, man, you should really try doing it this way," or "You need to really work on this," if you take it personal, you will not do well in this job. I'm absolutely fascinated with flying, aviation, and airport operation. How stressful was it to complete flight school and get your hours? It was very stressful, in that I was changing careers, right? I was spending a lot of money on all these ratings, having no idea what was at the other end of this. But I'm glad I did it. And try to save some money, and also I'll have a video. My next video will be out tomorrow. It might be 1 or 2 videos coming out in the next 2 days, but one of them I do discuss how to get money for flight training. Aviator Chad, way to go. Awesome. 25, have a full-time job out of school. That's awesome. How many inches of snow in Dallas tomorrow? It's between 2 and 8 inches are predicted. You're very welcome, Genobes. Currently an aviator in the military. Would I have to go to the regional airline before major? No. Giovanni Armstrong. I flew with a guy on my last trip that went from military F-16. He was in the Tulsa National Guard, and he went from flying F-16s to flying he was Airbus. He was Airbus right away. He didn't go to regionals at all. RTAG. Look up RTAG. Can you make this downloadable so I can watch the whole video? This one, I think I can, because I made it subscriber only. I'll have no bad comments in here, and I haven't said anything crazy yet. I have to be very careful what I say. That's an incredible skill to have in everyday life as well. It is. Next flight is Madrid, Spain, later in the month, but I have like 2 weeks off. I'm hoping to fly the next couple of days. Darren, do you ever plan on buying a GA airplane? Negative. Zero desire. 129 class, best base to commute from DFW. Hey, Mr. Ligon. So they did have a new higher class today. They had no Dallas wins. Commuting hub to hub is hard. I'll tell you that. Don't do Phoenix. Phoenix is a very tough commute, a horrible commute. Chicago, I've done Chicago. Chicago's doable. You have 2 airlines to get to Chicago, 3 if you go to Southwest and go to the wrong airport both ways. Miami can be doable. Charlotte is not easy. So I would pick a base that has another airline base there, right? Miami, you have other options, but Chicago, you have United that flies at DFW as well. What are the odds a junior FO starting at a regional as a long call reserve? Oh, it's very possible. You start off a reserve no matter what. 787 FO in Philly is like 4 years. With cargo below and passengers up top, what the ballpark revenue a plane can make on a flight? Oh, I have no idea. I don't know at all. Those numbers are not. At my old airline, um, I just had it here. So this is a flight release when I used to be captain many years ago on the CRJ, and on this release, it told me what the direct operating costs were for this flight. So to fly a CRJ from Dallas to Oklahoma City was about $1,400. This is like 10 years ago, but I don't know the profit though. You should fly to DFW. It's usually always an early arrival. However, the issue is we sit out on the taxiway for a long time for gate availability. You probably arrive too early. Your pilots are very eager, and if you arrive too early, it happens. Do you ever miss the low and slow life? Every now and then. It'd be nice to be able to take off and land when I want to. Yeah. Thank you, Graciano. Dream type to fly on was available from DFW, Airbus 350. My longest route flight is Dallas to Incheon, South Korea. I've been there twice. I went there last week for a second time. We flew the regionals. Did you ever fly to? I flew to Fresno once during my initial operating experience on the Embraer 145. So I went from the CRJ to the 145 and did all my IOE flying out of LA on the 145. I had overnights in Fresno. There's a tree in the airport, and Phoenix and Sacramento. A 4-day trip. Hello, my name is Heather. I'm 15. I want to be a pilot. What books would you recommend? What is your favorite plane to fly and why? Richard, I will let you know. Get a pen. I'll tell you in 2 minutes. Get a pen. I didn't fly DF3 Phoenix. Way easier than DF3 LaGuardia. I didn't mind DF3 Phoenix. Easier than, but Phoenix I've heard is lots of commuters. Graciano, you're very welcome. How can you get from regional captain to mainline? You apply and you network. That's how I did it. So, Heather, Airplane Flying Handbook. The Airplane Flying Handbook. The Airplane Flying Handbook. And the Pilot's Handbook of Aeronautical Knowledge. The Pilot's Handbook of Aeronautical Knowledge. Google both of those and add the word FAA. They're free books from the FAA. So you have an iPad, you have a Kindle, you can download it into a PDF format and read the book for free. Free 99. Have you ever flown with Warren Brown? I have not. Hey, Darren. Jason from Alaska here. I was wondering if you know why the engine nacelles on aircraft are canted forward on the top. I kind of 737. Otherwise, I have no idea. Well, base cover 777 flying out of Raleigh, Durham. I think right now it's Miami. Yep, fact. There you go. Thoughts on Spirit? Do you think they'll survive? I have no idea. I hope they do. I have lots of friends at Spirit. I never want to see an airline go out of business. Airline pilots, there's no, battling each other. We're all airline pilots. None of us want to see each other out of a job, unless you're a scab. That's an old thing. I got the Aeronautical Physical book. I've read the entire thing. Awesome. I just want to echo what Darren keeps saying. Network, network, network. Yes. Again, I got this job where I am right now through networking. I am, and I say this and I mean this. I am exceptionally average. I am not anyone special. I have a tech background, so I can figure out how all this crap operates. Like I'm sitting in front of four big monitors right now. But I got my job here by going to job fairs, shaking hands, listening to speakers, following through with what they said to do, following up with them, and making myself better than the other pilots around me on paper. That's how I did it. Almost done with it live. Which regional had the biggest cockpit? 6'6"? Oh, I have no. I guess it'd be a 175. Are you sad that you haven't been to Charlotte recently? I have not. You know how much weight I've lost and haven't been to Charlotte? I think my weight loss, is more tied to not going to Charlotte and the stress that airport caused than the actual medication I'm on. Just kidding. I don't miss Charlotte even a little bit. I'll get my DFP back on Friday. You will not. You will not, and you will take it, and you will like it. And that is one thing. And so what a DFP is, it's a duty-free period. You must work here, I guess, or work somewhere affiliated. And here's a negative I had never mentioned about being a airline pilot. When passengers get delayed and they get their flights canceled, say you're in London trying to get home from your vacation and your flight is canceled. You're upset. But guess what? The pilots that's supposed to fly you back from London are also canceled. And we have lives too. And it happens. And now we get to work on a day off. And under the current contract, if I get delayed in another country, I get nothing extra but my per diem. So like I get paid like $60 extra per day that I'm delayed. That's it. So if I'm supposed to come home on Friday and it cancels and I come home on Saturday, well, Darren, thanks for playing. We appreciate it. Networking is good, and you have to be genuine because people can. I can smell BS, and I saw that at my. I had a recent job fair where people that it's 2 years ago, and people that who knew me online are coming up to me, trying to say, "Hey, Darren, how do I get a job, man? How do I get a job where you are? What do I need to do?" I'm like, "I don't know," and like I could clearly see they're trying to use me to get somewhere. They weren't being nice to me because they liked who I am. They're trying to me to help them. I'm like, I can't really help you, dude. Do any of the major airlines do discovery flights? Nope. Hey, Aviation Shorts, have you been or seen the new terminal in Portland? No, my wife and kids were there last weekend, and they thought it was amazing. So at 5 p.m. is a summer is pure joy walk around. It is not. I don't miss. You know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna be assigned to go to Charlotte soon. I got about 2 minutes left. When all this cold winter weather was being forecasted, I instantly started wondering how upset Darren was. Oh, I'm not. I am praying for premium tomorrow. And you know what, Mr. Wally, they have an Incheon flight tomorrow. They couldn't cover it, and I tried to bid for it, but I'm showing illegal because I've flown. If they would assign me that trip, I'd be over 100 hours in 30 days. I was so bummed I couldn't bid for it, but then it went senior to me anyway. It went to number like 8,800 in seniority for premium reserve. For premium or premium reserve, they're getting paid $450 an hour to fly to Incheon. They're making $12,000 to fly to Incheon. But I couldn't get it anyway, so hoo on me. Hey, is your airline prepared to handle a surge in travel demand threefold? I have no idea. I don't work in operations. Um, is there a path with the airlines? Is this military helicopter pilots just into airlines? Mr. Williams, there is. I know Envoy had a program. It had a rotor transition program. It was 10 years ago, but Envoy had one of the first ones. It was a rotor transition program. You might Google that one. Envoy rotor transition program. I don't trust helicopters. I live in Portland now and hate the airport. Too much walking, 10-minute walk. That used to take 2 minutes. I heard it's pretty. Was it live earlier this week? Deleted from YouTube. Mr. Gill, it did not go up because the people were commenting the horrible things. So not every live goes on YouTube. This one should because nothing horrible has happened yet. Have a great night, Chad. Thank you very much. You're very welcome. You can't go over 100 hours every 30 days. How does some pilots make $500,000? It's 100 flight hours. 100 flight hours. If I deadhead, that doesn't count against me. Last month, I deadheaded to Narita and to Maui, Hawaii. That was 22 hours of deadheading that didn't count against me. It's flight hours. Hypothetical, the pilot that you're flying with has a residual odor of alcohol. What do you do? I tell him to step out. Say, hey, you know what, man? Maybe we shouldn't be flying right now. Maybe you want to step back. If you don't want to step back, I'll step out. Jump rope helps with bone density and weight loss, which can be done in a short amount of time for busy people. Thank you. I had the best job in flying when I spent 2 years as an instrument instructor in the military. Repayment for flying in Vietnam. Wow. Yeah, wow. That's some serious instrument flying over there. Were you ever able to choose multiple flight schools? If so, what made your decision? I did look at multiple flight schools, right? I did look at multiple flight schools. I picked where I went because they are the most flexible for me in keeping my job while I trained. Hey Darren, I felt a little uneasy flying in Cessna. I'm just starting my training. Do you have a similar feeling and how long it take to feel better? Hey, Armanac Martisoyan, look at your diet. I'm being serious. Maybe eat a lighter meal. Is that what's causing it? I only flew Cessnas in my private, and I flew Piper Seminoles. I've only flown 3 GA airplanes, 4 GA airplanes my entire life. A Seminole, a Cessna. I have an hour in a Citation jet, and a Cirrus for 1 hour as well. But it could be your diet.
What do you do if you're a junior FO and senior captain isn't going around or fly bad or under the influence? That's too many questions, but every pilot is. I've never had that situation in 17 years. I'll say that much. In 17 years, I've never been in a situation where the other pilot was is ever even suspect of being under the influence. I've never seen it with my own eyes. So most pilots are very picked and prodded. We can be given an alcohol and drug test at any time, anytime, right? Our medicals are something we protect pretty closely because if we don't have a medical, we don't have a career anymore. You're very welcome, Snappy. Awesome. Have you ever had the board take off and do a touch and go? We don't do touch and goes. I've done a go around. I've had one rejected takeoff in Houston Hobby because of a crossing runway situation. Only thing with my first flight was feeling the G's the first time. And last one I'll answer is: do you ever wonder how the pyramids were built? I do wonder. And I have lots of questions in life, right? There's lots of weird things. Uh, Here's my personal opinion. I truly believe, and this is a weird thing to think about, that there have been civilizations before us that have been just as advanced as we are now. They had computers and airplanes and fast moving jets, and they disappeared, and all evidence of them disappeared. Like we aren't the first ones to be having YouTube or something like it anyway. So for all we know, they could have had extreme technology that we don't even know about because it's all destroyed and well under the sea, maybe. So video, I don't ever do accident speculation. That's not something I do. I never speculate on accidents or incidents. I think I think pilots or anyone that speculates on accidents or incidents without firsthand knowledge and firsthand evidence and information are doing a disservice to the people that perished in that accident or incident. All right. Thank you for your keeping me company this evening. I'm going to work on a video a little bit more this evening. Again, I should have at least one video tomorrow, possibly two. If not, I should have a second one by Saturday. The video tomorrow, I haven't had a travel vlog in a while. The one I'm working on is about Hawaii. But I am going to have a video that's covering my last year's, how much I flew last year, how many overnights I had last year, and how much money I made last year. And I'm breaking it all down. So I'm not just going to say I made $10,000 last year. Da, 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 da. I break it down and tell you how many hours I flew, how many overnights I had, and then all the money I made in various silos, like why I got this and how this applies. So it's about a 20-minute video. That one should be up for tomorrow for sure. Sweet. Hotel points. It's all from credit cards. You guys have a wonderful evening, and I truly mean this. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for commenting. You guys are the reason I do all these videos. Have a great night, and as always, thank you for stopping by. Boo!